What's up, everyone? I hope you're all doing well. This is Jags Central. Not the week one result that we were looking for. The Miami Dolphins beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 20-17. However, I feel like there's a lot of positives that we can take from this game. Most notably, I feel like the Jags lost this game more than Miami won this game, if that makes sense. I feel like the Jags were better as a team throughout the game. And those moments where we had lapses of concentration and we didn't make the right plays, that essentially was our downfall in this game. I think let's just go straight into the game. Like, start of the game, we could see the timing and the rhythm for the Dolphins was off. Tua was missing Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. There was even one chance where he overthrew Tyreek Hill in a short touchdown. And you can just see in the first half, like, Miami were just not the Miami of last season's in September, where they just are super explosive, super on it, and they just have the momentum. And even coming into this game, I kind of considered the fact that it will probably be a loss for the Jacksonville Jaguars because we know how great and amazing Miami are in September. They're explosive. They just make big plays after big plays after big plays. And I kind of went into this game thinking, all right, cool, this is probably going to be a loss. And if we lose, not the end of the world because you can't expect it to lose this game. But the way the game was going, I thought to myself, this is a game that the Jags can win and should be winning. So the Jags just came into the first half. They were just looking so much more synced. They were moving the chains. On our first drive, we get to the red zone and we convert, and straight away that is a positive because last season we struggled to convert in the red zones, and the defense was putting pressure on Tua all game. The Miami O-line could not deal with our pressure, so it was just looking good. Like, even on that first play, first drive, it was 6 plays, 96 yards, and there was multiple strong runs from Tanks Bigsby, and then also we had that support of that 40-yard Jalen Ramsey pass interference, trying to cover Brian Thomas Jr. And then after that, both teams just traded punts before the Jags got in the red zone again and converted, this time with a touchdown to rookie Brian Thomas Jr. It was a great catch from the rookie. Ball was high in the air and he made sure to get both feet in. And the Jags at this point were up 14-0. And from this point, I'm thinking to myself, all right, cool. If the Jags just keep going the way they're going, and the defense keeps playing the way they're playing, the Jags should win this game. But then Miami replies immediately with a touchdown from Etienne, and then there was a little time left in the first half, and the Jags managed to get into field goal range, and Cam Little makes a 52-yarder just before the half ends, and the score was 17-7, and the Jags were essentially had the momentum and they were rolling. And this is something which I mentioned in one of the preseason games, that Cam Little, just having him be able to make a field goal from 50 yards just gives us that ability to get extra points and not have to always go for a touchdown. Last season, if we had Braden McManus, we probably would have tried to force getting into the 30-yard, 40-yard line because that's his range. But this game, we just didn't have to force it, and we got into Cam Little range, and we got that field goal, and we go into the half up by 2 scores. And at this point at halftime, I'm thinking, this is amazing. Like, we've gone into the red zone twice. We're two for 2. We've scored a field goal from 50 yards. We have 0 deep turnovers, and the defense is looking good. And this is just looking amazing. We come out, and it's a straight 3 and out. Miami get the ball back, and this is where Eric Armstead gets a sack on Tua on third down. We get the ball back. We punt it back to Miami, and then now Miami get a huge play to Jalen Waddle. Now they're in field goal range, and then 3 negative plays later, Trayvon Walker sacks and knocks Miami out of field goal range, and that was a huge sack for the momentum of the game, because right then and there, Miami finally got their big play of the game, and it looked like they were going to score a touchdown or even get points on the board through a field goal. But Trayvon Walker sacks him and takes Miami out of the field goal range, and they punt the ball back to us. And then now, this is where the game changed. Like, we went on a strong drive. We had 4 first downs, and Tanks Bigsby had an amazing run to start off the drive. Etienne, we're literally, I think, on the 20-yard line. Etienne finds a hole. All there is him, one defender, and the end zone. And if he gets past that last defender, he's in. and we go up 24-7. We're up by 3 scores, but he fumbles the ball. Defender knocks it out into the end zone, and Miami recover. And then from there, the Jags just did not recover. Miami immediately replies with a touchdown of their own. So the score now is 17-14. And then we have a questionable decision from Doug Peterson right at the beginning of the fourth quarter, where we have a 4th-and-1 in our own half, and he decides to go for it instead of where we just punt it back. And at this moment, Miami, even though they've had 2 big plays, they're not moving the ball consistently. They're not moving the chains consistently. So for me, I'm thinking just kick the ball back, make them earn getting into field goal range. Let's not give them the ball in field goal range. And yeah, we go for it on 4th down. It doesn't work. And guess what happens next? Miami doesn't even get a touchdown because they can't move the chains because they just don't have the momentum. They settle for the field goal. Now we're sitting 17-17. Miami haven't played well all game, and we've essentially fumbled the ball, turned the ball over on downs, and it's 17-17. And then now the final 3 drives for the Jags, it's run, incomplete pass, run, sack. In the second half alone, Trevor Lawrence only attempted 2 passes. And then, so Miami get the ball back with 2-3 minutes remaining, and then take the ball down all the way to the end and score a field goal. And that's it. The game was ended just right then and there. But for me, there are positives that we can take from this game. I think, for me, the new guys were making plays, like Brian Thomas Jr., like a touchdown. He had 4 catches on 4 targets, 47 yards. Gabe Davis, 3 catches for 3 targets. He had 62 yards. Eric Armstead got a sack. Tanks Bigsby, even though he's not a new guy, last season it was his rookie season. He didn't really play too well. So for me, I feel like it's his first season, and he looks so much different to compared to the type of player he was last season. Multiple big runs, and he had the most rushing yards in the team, more than Travis Etienne. And then Cam Little, 1 for 1 on field goals, and he got 1 from 52 yards, like I mentioned, and 2 for 2 on extra points. But turnovers, we only had 1 turnover, albeit being a costly one. And this is where I really think that it's another positive, because last season we turned over the ball quite a lot. And then the defense had tailed off towards the end of the season last season. But today, they played really, really, really well. They did not give up too much. Tua had 350 yards, but half of those yards were to Tyreek Hill on an 8-yard touchdown, and in another one, I think a 65 yarder to Jalen Waddle. So Tua, his stat line looks good, but I feel like it was on 2 big plays that kind of inflate his numbers. And then we did really well to stop the run as well. And even after a player was breaking a tackle, the defense were able to swarm to the ball to prevent big gains. And then Trayvon Walker on defense was basically the star of the show. 6 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 QB hits, and 1 tackle for loss. And then NFLUK was also busy. He had 11 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and also 1 pass defended. And for me, I think the only the negative in this game is essentially basically like 3rd down. We were 2 for 10 on 3rd down and 0 for 1 on 4th down. Last season, we struggled on 3rd down so much, and that's essentially what was our downfall towards the end of the season, and even during the whole season, to be honest. Even though when we were 8-3, we were still struggling on 3rd down, and then that kind of caught up to us in the second half of the season. But we just need to find a way to convert on 3rd down, because that is the key down for us. But yeah, let me know if you think my optimism is too much, or if I'm glossing over too many worries. Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and also subscribe for more content.